guys, it's Jessie Holton here, your Stampin' Up demonstrator for Australia, jessieholton.com. Today I thought that I'd show you this really sweet project kit that you can get out of your holiday catalogue. It's on page 34. So it's just here with the other project kits. You can get the tin of tags and also the little Christmas trees, and the stamp sets are purchased separately. So this is the set that we'll be doing today. It comes with all of these really cute little embellishments and labels and gold thread and all those sorts of things, so that you can end up making these really beautiful cards. Now of course you can follow the instructions, or you can just use them as inspiration and make your own. But today I'm just going to follow through with what they've made here, and I'm going to give you guys a couple of little tips along the way. So what I suggest doing is, first of all, when you get all your bits out of the packet, so you get a bunch of the labels, and I would suggest that you go ahead and stamp all of those first. Now I haven't stamped these ones because I decided to do all of my mint cards with the brown labels, so you get 6 of each design, so 18 cards in total to make. So they give you way too many tags and labels, which is fantastic. You've always got tons left over from a kit to use for something else. But I would suggest that you go ahead and stamp everything first while it's still in the paper. So don't pop them out, because they're much easier to stamp once they're held in place. And I've also decided to throw in some red. So they've only photographed black with this Christmas Joy stamp, but I've decided to throw in some red ones as well. So I thought that was really pretty, but we'll get back to that in a minute. We'll start off, and you need to stamp these leaves as well. Now I'll just quickly show you how to do these leaves to save yourself some time. So you get the 2 little leaf stamps out and just pop them on top where you want them to go, because all of these are lined up exactly the same. So you line up your little leaves, then you get your clear block and place it over the top, and that way you can just go ahead and stamp all of your leaves in a row, and you just need to re-ink in between each one. You don't need to go and line them up all over again. So you actually get 6 sheets of these. You'll only end up using 12 of these leaves, so 2 sheets worth of leaves. But if you stamp them all now, then you can have them on hand for other projects, and you know, Christmas is coming up, so we all need those little extra bits to go around. Okay, so I'll just pop those back in the case. Alright, so we'll start off with this mint macaron card. So here's one that I've made earlier. And here's one that I've done the first half of. So you get this thread separately, and you need to use back stitching to fill that in, and then it will look like that on the back. And you get a piece of card that you can then place over the top in the kit. So it's up to you if you want to cover that or not. I think it looks quite pretty. I like that, you know, it shows through that it's been hand stitched. But there is the card there, so if you haven't stitched it up very neatly, or you just like the look of it having it covered, they do provide those bits for you to use. So I suggest with these to keep these in the outside and not pop them all out, because you will find it much easier with the thread. And you get a pack of half a dozen of these on the reels, so you just use 1 for each card. You can use less if you like, or you know, use them on the other cards if you prefer. It's up to you. But just take one end And you want to just start wrapping it around your hand. You want the circle to be quite wide, so I've got little hands, so I'm going to keep my fingers spread so that way, you know, you have a bit coming out the side to play with. And you just wrap that around and then snip the end. Okay, so now you've got your circle of thread. You want to turn this over and use just a little piece of washi tape. This washi tape comes from the Presents and Pine Cones suite. It's really gorgeous. And you just want to put that in a little figure 8. Put it on top. And then use your washi tape to just lock it down in place. Okay, then you can pop it out. Now if you've got little bits like this that are hanging out, you can just snip them off if you don't like them. Got one on this side as well. So we'll get rid of those. Okay, and then you can just have a play around with this. You can leave it neat if you want, or you can just kind of pull it apart and rough it up a little bit. I prefer it sort of roughed up. There's that one will be roughed up, and there's one that I've left pretty neat. So you can see the difference there, whichever you prefer. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Alright, and then we need a couple of dimensionals. Now I'm just going to use 4, and I'm just going to stick them around the edge. And it doesn't matter if you stick them on top of your thread. I'm actually going to use it to hold that little piece in place because I didn't like where it was sticking. But the dimensionals don't stick very well on top of the washi tape, so you can put one in the middle if you like, but they do peel off easily, so they stick better to the back of the tag rather than the washi tape. Okay, and then we're just going to pop this in place, and there you have it. Simple, simple, simple. So we'll hop on to the next card. Now the next card is this little star one, and this is the one that the banners came from. So I did one in black and I did one in red to show you the difference. Also this one is propped up on dimensionals, whereas this one I've glued flat. Okay. So we'll grab a card base here, and I'll quickly show you there's our little star, and we've got some gold thread. There's plenty that comes, so you'll have tons left over. This is the white baker's twine with the gold metallic thread twisted through it. I've already finished all of those cards, and you can see there's plenty left over. Now that one does, the gold comes away a little bit once you thread it through the needle, so just don't move the needle around too much once you've got it on there. But I'll show you how to do this. So you grab the little needle threading tool and you pop it through the eye of the needle. Then you bring your thread and you put it through the needle threader, and then don't pull it from up the top here because the little piece of wire will just come straight out. You need to hold it down at the base and then you just pull it through the needle. Okay, so to do back stitch to look quite neat, it doesn't matter which way you start on the star because the pattern's pretty forgiving. So just pull this through, and you just want to have a little bit hanging down there. You can use your washi tape again. You could use retired washi tape or masking tape or sticky tape, or even maybe a little glue dot might hold it. But you just need something there to just anchor that thread. If you knot it, then it will show through. You'll have a bump underneath when you go to pin it down, glue it down. So you go through and then back up the next one, and then you do a little loop-de-loop. So you head back over to this one, try to go down next to the thread rather than through the thread that was previously there, if that makes sense, and then back up around through the hole that you came through. So I'll do this one quickly, and hopefully you guys understand what I mean by the back stitch. Now the way that I'm doing back stitch is not how they do it in the little brochure that you get. It's not the traditional way of back stitch, but I find it easier and I find that it looks neater. But I mean, it doesn't really matter if this is messy on the back. It's not a big deal because you're going to stick it down and cover it up. And you can see all those little hole coverings just pop out as you go through. Now for the next card that we're doing has got the Christmas trees on the front, and for that one they do recommend, because you're sewing through 3 layers at once, so they do recommend that you pop out all of the little hole coverings before you start sewing. And I did find there were a couple that I'd missed on the cards that I did prepared earlier, and I did find that it was much easier to sew through the ones that I'd already pre-popped the holes. But for this one it's only 1 layer, so it's not a big deal. And you want to keep your thread relatively tight, but not so tight that it pulls. But you don't want to have loose bits hanging out either. Alright, so that's it. That's that little star done. And you can see it's nice and neat on the back, so that's not going to cause any chaos with, you know, leaving bumps and lumps everywhere once you've stuck it down. So we'll just grab another little piece of washi, put that straight over the top of the pre-existing piece, and trim that off. And that's your little star done. Now I got 1 piece of gold thread to do 2 cards, 2 stars, by doing it that way. Now with the ribbon I found the easiest way to do it was without ironing it, because I'm a bit slack. Just cut off that bit that's got the bend, leave the next bend, and cut just before the following bend. So then you're left with a piece that fits. I'll probably cut a little bit. Cut a little bit more off that one. There we go. That's better. Nice and neat. And we want it to be just a little bit in from the outside. So I'm going to try and line up my piece of burlap ribbon just above the second straight line, just to the wiggly line just above it. And I'm going to place my star on top. So I want to have my star, you know, the burlap ribbon just poking through above those bits of star either side there. And then I'm going to use my stapler. They've suggested tear and tape, but I just love using staples when it comes to anything with material because I just find that it holds a lot better. Okay, so now that's in place. The next thing that we want to do is put our little banner and our leaves on. So I'm going to grab the black one. You can do it flat if you want. I'm going to stick a couple of dimensionals on there. They have suggested as well using glue dots for the leaves, and I'm just going to cover that staple now, so that's all pretty. And again, you know, you've got those bits of card, so you can use those to cover up the inside if you don't like the staple showing through. And then we need some couple of little leaves, so I'll pop 2 of those out. And I'm just going to use my Tombow, and I'm just going to pop a dot of glue at the top. Now, after I did mine yesterday out of these 2, I thought I prefer this one where it comes over the ribbon at the bottom, because it just gives it that little bit more of a 3D, you know, with the leaves sticking out. Just pop a little bit of glue at the bottom of that one. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of pressure down on those to hold them in place. Okay, and then in this little bag, you've got some little red pearls for the berries. Now you can use tweezers or your scissors to try and pop those off. I find the easiest way is to actually squeeze it between my thumb and forefinger and slide them off. And that way you get the little glue dot stays stuck behind. And usually it stays stuck to your thumb, so then you can just push it down wherever you want it. And you will have extras of these little berries left over as well. So I've got 2 of the gold ones left over from the mint macaron cards. And obviously I haven't completed these ones yet, so I'm not sure how many I'll have left over. But they're very cute. I do enjoy them. So that's that star card done. Easy peasy. So you can really, I mean, it's up to you with these kits whether you want to do them one at a time or whether you want to, you know, do them all at once. But we'll move on now to the last card that we've got. And I'm not going to sew through this one with you because it does take a little while, but I'll just give you a couple of hints. So the first thing is I just started at the top of this tree, I sewed down, came back up and went down again, and then taped off. So you can see where my stitching goes, and this is one that I will probably cover up because there's no way of doing that neatly. It's going to have these bits coming across. But you're going to use the same amount of string pretty much. If you know, tape that off and cut it, and tape it off and cut it again, you're not going to really save any of that gold thread by doing it that way. You're going to use more washi tape. So it's pretty economical. You can't really do too badly with that. I've left the bottom layer of the tree flat and just folded these top layers up in half a little bit to give it that 3D look. And if you look carefully at where these little pearls, there they are, where these little pearls are on the cards, so you've got to pop out all of these dots on the trees and on the card before you sew them through. That'll make life easier. But with these pearls, they're actually stuck on top of white dots that are already on the card. So if you line it up carefully, like, you know, you can see there's 2 dots here right at the top, and that one is that one there. And then, you know, once you've got your trees and your little label and stuff in place, then it's quite easy to see where the other ones are stuck on. But it doesn't really matter. They're meant to be snowflakes, so they could be falling anywhere. You could even use some of these leftovers on the tops of the trees. That would look really cute. Or even change up the thread and use some of the white thread instead of the gold thread. Or even if you've got some of these, the metallic gold thread left over, you could do a little messy nest of gold thread behind this label as well. That would look really pretty. The last thing that I'm going to show you is the envelope. So the easiest way to do the envelope, they all come separately, so you get 6 of each design, and they match the cards that they're meant to go with. So get your envelope, push the insert all the way down inside, and once you've got it nice and flat down on the inside, then you'll be able to see that the spaces on the sides are even, and also this, you can see where the glue is, where the, you know, the glue that you lick to stick the envelope down, and you can see that there's a little border of non-gluey bit around the edge of the liner, so that way you'll be able to know that it's centered. And then once it's centered, fold that bit back, put a bit of glue, and then just flatten that down. Okay, and that's your envelope liner done. So I know you're thinking, but the inside of the liner is loose, and yeah, I haven't glued that down the inside. But what will happen is when you fold it, that will need some room to move, to adjust. So you know, you don't want to have that stuck in place, because you want to be able to give it that little bit of room to move. So that's it, that's all I've got to show you. I hope that you've enjoyed my tutorial with these really sweet little cards. I've certainly had a lot of fun making them, and I know that you will as well. So if you're interested in getting the card kits at all, you can go to my blog, it's jessieholton.com, and you can visit my online store from there. If you use my monthly hostess code, which is just above the link to my online shop, then you will get a free gift from me at the end of the month. And you can find this kit again is on page 34 of the holiday catalogue. If you don't have a copy of the holiday catalogue and you would like one, or the annual catalogue as well, you can contact me and I'll send one out to you if you're in Australia and you don't already have a demonstrator who you go through. I'm happy to send you one of those for free. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope to see you again soon. Subscribe to my channel. You can also sign up for my email newsletter at my blog, and that way you won't miss any of my tips and tricks, and you'll get notice of all of my freebies that I give away and all the specials and things like that that are going on through Stampin' Up. Enjoy your holiday season, and I hope you have fun making these cards. Talk to you later.